Hey folks, Orgonite Secrets. This is the culmination of what I have learned and my perspective of what does what for what regarding Orgonite. So, first thing I guess I wanted to say, you want to do something kind of cool, get yourself about, I don't know, 10, 20 copper pipes, each of them 6 feet long, bundle them together, take them down to a river or running water where you can wade in the water and hold one end in the water and the other point in the sky. That's a simple way to clean the sky to cloud bust. But cloud busting is intended to clean and repair the sky. I'm not exactly sure what part, like the ionosphere or something like that. It's not meant to be consistently used because cloud busting can dissipate clouds. So it's kind of you got to know when to use a cloud buster, and I guess I'll tell you right now. Use it to clean the sky. Use it until the clouds are thick, and then you turn it into the Aegis style, A-E-G-I-S, where it moves outward instead of up. And then you do that long enough, and when you get dark clouds, you turn it back into a traditional standing column or wave, and it condenses the clouds. But I usually don't do it until there's like thunder in the clouds. So, okay, yeah, just take some copper pipes down to a river, put one end in there, and point the others to the sky and spend all day just playing, see what happens. Okay, let's do this one first. I have gridded Austin 4 times, but I'm only going to show 3 of them here. The first one was different. Okay, so here we are. Weather.gov, CF6 reports, Austin Bergstrom, archive data, September 2011. Go. Okay, so first date was on the 4th. And if you notice, where am I looking for? Right here. Wind speed, 20 on the day of, 16 the day after. Okay? And next time I gridded was on the 14th. Wind speed, 10 miles an hour. And this is average. And then the last time I gridded was the 24th, and the day after the wind speed was 13 miles an hour. Okay? That is the only consistency I have seen with my griddings. I've seen a lot of influential, or should I say, effects, changes drastically. Like one day the weather went from 102 to 91, and it stayed cool for a couple days, and then it got hot again. I gridded again, and it stayed cool for quite a while, and then I gridded on the 24th, and the temperature climbed. So you see the inconsistency on that makes me kind of curious. Another big fluctuation is the departure in the temperature from the norm. Day after first gridding was it dropped from +9 to -7, slowly came back up, and then let's see, 14th. Differentiation from the norm, it went from 9 to 3 the next time. You know, that makes me think that this first gridding did so much balancing that when it came back and I gridded again, there was not quite as much to balance, but it still went down. And then gridded on the 24th, departure from the norm went from -2 to 14. You see, this time it's all backwards. The first 2 went more pleasant temperatures. This time it went backwards. But then again, this is also consistent with the weather forecast. And this gridding was scattered as opposed to concentrated. A little here and out, South Austin, North Austin, Central Austin, just kind of here and there. But the other 2, the griddings were every block from here to here to here to here. Every block had one, as opposed to last one was like one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. So, grid them very close together because it appears that they have a networking ability when they're within close proximity of each other. So I guess the only outrageously awesome anomaly is the fact that after every time I gridded, the wind speed increased. hold on. I need to check the June 2nd. Hold on. June 2nd was the other time. May, June, wind speed. Okay, June 2nd of 2011, I gridded with 107 pieces. These few times were with 530, the second 730, the third time 930. Wow. Did not realize that. They were all 30s. So the first one was 100 as opposed to 500. It was minuscule. But June's, I'll stop there because yeah. Anyway. Okay, so after gridding you got the increased wind speed. That is consistent with my experience. And I'm going to challenge it again because last time I gridded, never mind, we won't get into that again because I spread it around as opposed to keeping them close together and didn't, but I learned what not to do, you know? The closer they are together, the more influence they have on the given area. Yeah, it's like they trade information. Okay. Let's see, yes, covered gridding versus scattering. Okay, copper. Copper acts like a wall for this energy. It acts like an amplifier for this energy, and it acts like a mirror for this energy. I'll give you an example. Here's a black sun orgonite, but what happens if you wrap it in an amplifier? It's going to shine a lot more. Also, even just with the pennies inside, it's still just as influential as the copper wrapped around, to my perception. Okay, so copper. Oh, and here's another thing. Watch the proton generator beam. It's basically a copper pipe with a copper cap on one end, and all the energy comes out the top of the other. Okay. But yes, when you're making the orgonite, when you're actually, before you begin to mix it, ask your angels for guidance to be with you and for you to be clear with why you're doing what you're doing. The brake shavings. You go to the auto store, to any brake store or auto shop, and ask for their brake shavings and tell them it's for fertilizing the garden, okay? Because iron filings thrown on the ground will rust, and the iron oxide is the very basic components of some parts of something, and it goes into fertilizing. I don't know, but you know what I mean. Tell them it's for fertilizing. Okay. Enzymatic electromagnetic encoding is the method of saturating the body with the electromagnetic field of orgonite. That field penetrates the body an inch or 3, causing every cell within that field to catalyze metabolic pathways. And those pathways allow the cell to remain in a homeostasis. Yeah, to remain homeostasis. That's enzymatic electromagnetic encoding. But I guess one more thing to throw in there is the EMF is of the frequency bandwidth of violet. Alright. I already talked about networking when you grid as opposed to scatter. Networking works better. And the sound of the sun. Play this after you add the hardening agent, and play it for a good hour, because it tunes the orgonite matrix to the feeling of this sound. Alright. Oh yes. Running water. Put your cloudbuster in running water and its effects are magnified. I want to take my cloudbuster out to the river and put it in there. But right now I have it in a bucket that's trickling running water magnifies Cloudbuster's influence by like 1,000. And I've only used a bucket. I hadn't taken it out to a river. Alright. Free rocks. Free quartz. Alright? You can get free quartz all over the ground. This is the only piece I have in here. Oh, no, it's not. Anywhere man has put rocks, such as drainage ditches, your neighbor's walkway, apartment complex walkways, around big buildings, pathways through nature, walkways around apartment complexes, around restaurants. Anywhere man has put rocks, you can find quartz for free. And you crush them up and you get the powder. You get the powder of this stuff, which is, you know, just breaking it up as small as possible, but maximizing the surface area. It's dense as can be. And then you add the black, or the iron filings, the brake shavings. It's like there's 30% of the orgonite is plastic. Everything else is activating components of it. Free quartz everywhere. You just got to crush it up. The price of orgonite for me dropped 60-70% after I discovered free rocks. And I'm sure if you make your own orgonite, you know what I mean. All right. Okay. All right, this is kind of, let me tell you what happened. I was playing this sound outside while I was curing the orgonite, and I was standing next to the sound. A couple yards over was a weed eater going on, and as I stepped away from the stereo playing this sound, I could hear the waves, the sound waves from the sound and the weed eater clicking together. You'll know what I mean when they don't harmonize. And as I continued to walk away from the electrical sound and towards the weed eater, I eventually did not hear the wave of this sound and was completely saturated in the weed eater. Okay? Now here's what I'm getting at. Each source emission has a potency, and somewhere they will collide and somewhere they will dissipate, or one will be stronger than the other. But when they collide, you'll know it. But anyway, if we can take more of these sounds than the weed eaters, then everything will be of that sound. If we put that sound around the weed eater, all the way around the weed eater, then there's way more of that comfortable, good sound. And it even, in wave entrainment, you do enough of that good sound, it will entrain everything else to the same wavelength. It's called source emission potency wave entrainment. So I'm gritting Austin. And I think I'm done. Any questions? Yes, please ask questions galore, because questions find answers. Sometimes it's harder to find questions than it is answers. All right, this is Orgonite Austin. I love you. Bye.